close to the last part of the interview because, believe it or not, we have one. Well, we're doing like 1 hour of interview right now. So this is the last part of the interview. It's called one photo, one phrase. Actually, it's not like a phrase, but it's maybe one anecdote or maybe one. Um,
A little bit of story behind the
yeah,
photo.
yeah, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So we will show you some photos that is from your feed and your website. Maybe, I don't know. It's a surprise. So
Wow, it's a surprise. Now I'm excited. Ooh.
so let's do the first one. That is this.
It
You
feels a
just
bit like a test, like in
yeah,
school.
yeah. Sorry about it. You can see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
So this is the first photo.
Yeah, this was so I'm supposed to say something about the photo, right? Just like the
Yeah,
first thing that comes into my mind.
yeah. Or if you want to share something about it, maybe
Yeah.
Or
something happened that day. I don't know.
what you felt in that moment, why this picture, why you took this picture, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, so actually, the story behind this, I think, is not as spectacular, but I got my father's very first camera that he was shooting with as a child, and like seriously, like super random because he knows that I'm into cameras, into photography, like for years. And I, every time I visit my parents, I talk about like to them about like some sort of photography things. And like 3 years in, he suddenly remembers that he still has like a camera that he used as a child. Like, come on, Dad, you could have said this like 3 years ago. I'm crazy for cameras. Like, anyway. But so he gifted me like his camera that he used as a 10-year-old child or like 11-year-old child. And it's like a little box camera, very similar to a Holga, which is called Synchrodruch.
Okay.
And it's a super like simple plastic camera, just like 2 aperture settings, just like 2 shutter speed settings. And I wanted to experiment with this a little bit. And this was, I think, one of the very first rolls that I shot with it, because it's so simple. You can easily make double exposures because you have to wind the film manually and stuff like that. So I felt like it's a good camera to play around with. So yeah, this is actually in the house that I'm living in right now, and it's like one of my favorite corners where usually my cat sits on this chair. Yeah, I asked my friend to sit on the chair, then I would take a picture, and then she would go away, and I would take another picture to make like a ghost-like image.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. And I was actually really surprised about the sharpness of the lens, because I feel like it looks pretty sharp for the kind of little plastic lens that it has. And yeah, it's just a very fun camera to shoot. And I can say something that hopefully won't spoil too much, but there will be more content coming with this camera in the very far future. But I'm working like secretly in the background on something with this camera.
Okay,
Okay.
great. Because that camera sounds like an Holga, but it
Mhm.
doesn't look like a Holga. It looks great.
Yeah.
I thought it would be more Holga-like. I thought it would have like more kind of artifacts and like crazy softness going on, but I think it's
Yeah.
pretty sharp.
Yeah. Well, it's
It
a
is
German. It's a German camera, so it have to be very good built.
It's a Polish camera though.
Polish. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good surprise for me. Amazing. So you are from Poland, or your family are from Poland, or something like that?
Yes, my parents are from Poland, but I was born in Germany.
Okay. Okay. So this is the next photo.
Oh, okay. This was shot on a trip to Hamburg, which is the one of the most famous streets in Hamburg, called the Reeperbahn, which is like the sex and drugs and prostitutes kind of quarter. A very sketchy area to be around in the dark, to be honest. So yeah, I was walking around there with my camera and just tried, because they have like a lot of neon signs and a lot of like very interesting illuminated spaces. So this was taken on the street.
Amazing. It's with
So-
Cinestill or something like that? Oh no.
Yeah, the cliche neon film, but yeah, it's Cinestill.
Well, you do it great, actually.
yeah. Risky situation, but great photo.
Yeah.
Everything for the art. You have to go in there. No, but I was safe. I was there with friends. I wouldn't go there alone, to be honest. So
Yeah,
it was all good.
This is the next one. also, I think with Cinestill. Yeah, I saw I saw the glow. I saw the glow.
Yeah, this was actually in Berlin, very similar setup as with the image before. So I shot this on my Leica M6 with Cinestill, but this one was in Berlin, and I think this was one of the very last frames on my roll that I still had to finish. And I was staying at a friend who lived like close to a barber shop. There were like just some shops around, and I was like, oh, I have 3 images left. What do I do? And just like grabbed
Okay.
some of the shots. So this was like one, okay, I'm just gonna finish it here kind of shot.
It's a good way to finish
It's
that.
a really good way to finish a roll.
Yeah.
Usually I have very bad pictures of my dog to finish a roll.
Yeah, or the mirror selfie, right? For me, it's always like mirror
yeah.
selfies.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
A classic mirror selfie to finish a roll.
Okay, this is the next one. I know for sure that this is not a Cinestill because I saw the description.
Yeah, this is actually an image that I shot in one of my videos.
Hmm?
But honestly, I can't even remember if it was on Pro 400H or if it was
Yeah.
expired Kodak Portra, one of these two for sure. Yeah, and I was shooting at the fair, and I was taking like long exposures, and I really love the effect of like one person going through the frame and just like leaving this streaky marks on the right side, because I feel like it gives like this ghostly kind of abstract feel to them, and I feel like this is something I would like to explore more in the future, to have like long exposures in like night scenes with people, because usually I shoot a lot without people in the frame, but I think with people it also has like some interesting component to it.
Yeah, actually, I love it. I love this one because that effect that I think it's a person walking by, and it looks that it's the wheel, but it's the person. I know it's like the wheel moving forward. I don't know. It's a strange. It's a strange effect.
But it's just a very lucky incident, right? Because honestly, like I think photographers always sell it like, yeah, everything was conscious. I had it envisioned before, but this, totally honest, I hadn't. It was just a lucky coincidence that the person moved through the frame in the way that it kind of touched the fair attraction thing, so that it looks like the streak is coming from the fair, but it was a coincidence. But I feel like we should all also be happy and embrace those coincidences and don't sell everything as it was intentional, because oftentimes it's not.
Yeah, just be true, and it will be more interesting because the process is it's letting you're allowing to be surprised by the process.
Actually,
And with long exposure, well, we see it in the next frame.
yeah.
We have to like rewire the way we see, because there are too many components in motion and there are others that are still. So you have to rethink the way you frame in those terms. It is I love long exposure. I haven't done it that much in film, but I will. I have a project that it demands long exposure.
Yeah,
Nice.
and this one is
looking forward to it.
yeah, actually, and this one
Definitely.
it's one from your website actually, that it's part of one project of yours, right?
Yeah, can I tell you something? Because
Yeah.
it's digital. Ooh,
Oh
very
no,
bad.
let me no.
No, so put it away. We can look at it.
Okay,
No,
let
just
me
kidding.
It's
let
perfect.
me
It's
move it
great.
for like that.
No,
No.
this was because I told you that I was like living in Scandinavia, and this was when I kind of started shooting film. But when I would go to like trips, like at the very beginning when I got into film, I would like bring a digital camera just to be sure, because I knew, I wouldn't come back here anytime soon. And this was, I think, around the edge when I was shooting digital, but slowly started in analog photography. So this is like a couple of years back. And I was traveling to Tromsø, which is like a city in the north of Norway, to see the northern lights and take photos of the northern lights.
Okay.
And I did that like with a digital camera and on a tripod in long exposures. But there were so many like accidents that happened because I accidentally triggered the shutter. Then I would like move my camera on the tripod, and then I realized, oh damn, I just took a shot. Like, oh, this was a coincidence. And this was like a behind the scenes kind of shot of the Northern Lights trip, because this is the car that I was kind of that was parked there as I was like setting up my camera to take a shot of the Northern Lights. And this was an accident, but I kind of really like the almost painterly feel that those kind of long exposure accidents have. So this is really what drew me to it, which is why I actually took probably just as many like accidental car photos and accidental like photos of light sources in comparison to the actual like aurora on the on the night sky.
It's a cool photo, and this is the last one, and I know for sure that it's on film, right?
Yeah, it's on film.
Yeah.
Man, you're good. You're digging out all those
Yeah.
images I almost forgot. You're really good at this, man.
Oh, thank you.
This is an image I took also of my friend Jana, who was in the Analog Dialogue episode, because I was doing like a little analog workshop for my friends, because, you know, all of my friends like quickly realized that I'm kind of crazy into analog photography a little bit. And I was always running around with the camera when we met, and some of my friends got interested and were like, can you tell me a little bit about it? So why do you shoot film? And my friends asked me if I would be down to make a little workshop for them, so they could also like experience shooting film and developing film together. So I did like 2 workshops only with friends, like no money, no costs involved, just like hanging out and having fun. Or I think they covered the film costs, but nothing besides that. We had like a lovely couple of days, took some photos, and yeah, I also took this photo when I was when we were back at my place to develop the roles, and I had like a couple of shots left, and I saw the light on like next to the window, and I asked my friend, hey, can you just pose for me, do a couple of shots so I can finish my role before we develop. And this is like one of the shots. And it's a really good memories to see this image, because it really reminds me of the workshop and how much fun we had, like just as friends going out to shoot. And I think I really want to do this again one more time.
Perfect.
Yeah, you should. We've been there. That our friends also just like, okay, what is it with film photography? And we're like, just take this camera, shoot a roll, and we'll talk later.
Yeah.
It's the best, right? Yeah. And did you convince your friends? Did they go all analog, or were they still skeptical afterwards?
No, actually, we have
not full analog, but they got hooked. Yeah,
they got hooked.
Nice.
And they buy camera, and some of they have a little fever of the gear acquisition syndrome. So but a little portion, So it's good. They enjoy shooting film. That's cool.
But this is actually the way to go. If you don't have like a community around, if you don't have people around to shoot with, you just infect your friends, make them addicted, give them a film camera, and then you have your community to go out shoot. Because this is the way to go, right?
Make your own community. Yeah,
that's the plan. That's
exactly.
The plan.